Welcome back. Louisville sophomore guard Kevin Ware is now recovering from successful surgery on his broken leg. In fact, there's a new picture of him released just an hour ago. He's now on crutches after a procedure late last night that lasted 2 hours. Doctors reset Ware's bone and placed a rod in his right tibia. Ware is expected to stay in the hospital until at least tomorrow. But experts don't believe the injury will end his playing career. Ware suffered a horrible injury, as you probably know by now, during Sunday's NCAA Midwest Regional Final. The injury was so gruesome, it left his teammates and coaches in tears. But before he was taken off the court, Ware told his teammates to, quote, just win the game, which they did, beating Duke 85-63, advancing to the Final Four. After the win, Ware's teammates visited him at the hospital, brought along the regional championship trophy. And joining me now for more on his condition and the story, USA Today sports reporter Dan Wolken, who was at the game. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So obviously some good news here for Kevin Ware. He's on crutches. He could be out of the hospital by tomorrow. But going back to the reaction of the people in that arena, tell me at least a little bit of what you saw and when people really, I guess, the impact of what had happened hit them.
Well, I just saw a regular basketball play. He was going out to contest a three-point shooter. The shot went in, and then there was just immediately chaos around the Louisville bench. You saw guys on the floor all over the place. I looked up and saw Russ Smith just in tears. And then you kind of got a sense that Kevin Ware was hurt, but when you looked at his leg and you saw the bone in the wrong place, you knew that this was going to be a serious problem for him, and you didn't know exactly how the game was going to go on because the entire energy of that arena had totally been sucked out.
You know, it's interesting. Joe Theismann sent out a tweet right after, and he says, watching Duke Louisville, my heart goes out to Kevin Ware. Dan, prior to this, everyone's point of reference with these type of things that happen, and they don't happen often, was the Theismann. I remember being a kid watching that in the video. I think Theismann said he wasn't even able to watch it because of the intensity. CBS made the decision not to allow this video to be looped over and over again because it is absolutely horrific.
Well, I think that was probably the right call.
Yeah.
To see it live was a very tough thing. And really, what I'll remember more is just the reaction of his teammates. I've never seen something go from normal to completely chaotic so quickly. And I just felt bad for those guys to have to see that because it happened right in front of their bench. And you could just tell it was a very sort of emotional, guttural reaction that was touching on some level, but was also very frightening because I don't think anyone knew exactly how bad it was right away.
Absolutely. And his coach even said, you know, outside of the loss of his own baby, the death of his brother-in-law on 9/11, this was the third worst thing to have happened that he's had to deal with. That's incredible.
Well, you know, Rick Pitino's done this for 30 years. He's seen a lot of things. But there's no way to prepare your team, or there's nothing you can say to get them ready to go play a game of such importance after something so horrific had happened right in front of them. So I think this was new territory for everybody. And you could tell the last 6 minutes of that half, everybody was just ready to get to the locker room and reset their minds. And I thought they came out in the second half and maybe normalized a little bit and played very well to beat Duke.
Yeah, it was incredible, and it's not going to be something we forget. Everyone's wishing him the best. What do you think the odds are, though, that he'll be with the team? Now, obviously not playing, but there to root them on.
It sounds like he'll be able to get out of the hospital. You know, Kevin Ware's from Atlanta, which is where the Final Four is being held this year. Yeah. So I know the Louisville's going to do whatever they can to get him in the arena this weekend to watch the team, and certainly it's going to be inspirational for everybody, and particularly Louisville's players.
Yeah, Dan, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you joining us today. Still ahead, social conservatives fight